Brian, did you get any sleep last night?
Huh? What? Huh? Well,
Did you get any sleep last night?
Yeah.
Really?
How much?
How much? I don't know. Depends.
I think his PR team is calling me, telling me that he cannot disclose how much sleep he got last night at this time. Let's go.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Mister, will you please wake up? Wake up. Wake up. Wake up.
Good morning! Snowman here to all you Brock Purdy and San Francisco 49er haters. Shut up! I gotta thank you, Shane.
I mean, whatever happened to the games where breaking 100 points was, I don't know, unusual?
There was one word to sum up the All-Star weekend.
Trays. Cause we take this job so serious.
Splash Brothers, yes. Ray Allen, replace him with Steve Kerr. Reggie Miller, yeah.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Oh yeah! Time to start the party. Good morning. Welcome to the Taco Tuesday edition.
For how long you been taking that one? I was over here looking like you almost last night.
Hey, you guys
man, look, we'll talk about that in a minute. Welcome to the Taco Tuesday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Glad to have you all with us. This first hour is brought to you in part by Invader Coffee, fuel for the fearless. Snowman here, along with Droid and Vicala, who wants to complete a case. Well, his counterpart wants to complete a case. We'll talk about that. Of course, we're leading up to our coverage of Super Bowl 59, where I have a surprise coming a little later on. And then we'll slip in a little baseball talk to complete the 2-hour spectacular today. Droid, what are you putting down now?
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Hey.
Okay. You know what?
The best cereal known to man.
Question of the day. We already have it.
Victor,
yeah.
Go with it.
What was your favorite cereal? And there's the gem to this. Your favorite cereal as a kid on a Saturday morning.
Too many of them.
Too many of them?
What's yours?
Too many of them, but I got to 3. I got to 3. One,
right.
To me, one of the all-time great cereals, Captain Crunch.
Yeah.
2 is what Droid's eating, Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yep.
I have to disagree. It has to have It has to be the Captain Crunch with berries.
Crunch berries.
Crunch berries. I was more into peanut butter crunch. I love the peanut butter weasel.
Yeah, I would feed the family for weeks.
And what's your third one?
The third one, it wasn't out for very long. It was basically just another version of Captain Crunch, which is called Batman. It was the Batman cereal.
Okay.
It was actually same formula as Captain Crunch, but it was cut into bat shapes.
Okay. My 3 cereals on a Saturday morning while I'm watching Bugs Bunny tear people up. And this is in no particular order. Trix the rabbit. Apple Jacks.
Apple Jacks. Oh my God, Apple Jacks was amazing.
Apple Jacks.
Apple Jacks
can't believe
at
them.
least top 5 cereal all time.
Yes.
I can't believe I'm bringing back Apple Jacks, but my mom, when she would go grocery shopping, used to load us up on Apple Jacks.
Yeah, because usually back in those days, I think it was like 2 for $1, and these were big boxes.
Dude, the dual boxes they sell today was nothing compared to the 2 for $1 deal at Jewel.
No.
And these were the big some bitches. I'm not talking about like 16. I'm not talking about 16 ounces. I'm talking about 24 and up. These were the big some bitches.
Yep.
Okay.
The ones at the bottom of the aisle, because
that you have to reach.
Mm-hmm.
That you have to reach to get.
Mm-hmm.
And
the last one is,
it's hard to pick because I'm just remember what mom used to load us up on before she got wise and realized Apple Jacks contained a ton of sugar.
Right. Another one that my dad liked and I kind of got into too. Corn Pops.
What's that?
Corn Pops.
Corn Pops.
You know,
Gotta
the
have
Fruity Pebbles disrespect I shall not take.
You know what I did with Corn
Fruity Pebbles was amazing.
You know what I did with Corn Pops?
Its name.
You know what I did with Corn Pops that I wasn't supposed to do?
What?
I drowned them in sugar. My mom, Mom, I miss you and I love you. My mom used to see me pour cornflakes and then douse that some bitch in sugar.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, "Look,
boy."
That she coupled it with that too. She said, "Look, 2 teaspoons." I looked at my mother and I went, "What?" She says, "Don't want me. 2 teaspoons of sugar is all you need."
Bleep.
Wait. Let me find that soundbite. She says 2 teaspoons of sugar is all you need.
And then
I'm thinking,
stop it. Get some help.
No, I thought wait.
And I'm also thinking,
right.
That one.
A spoonful of sugar helps the medicine
go down. Shut up.
Mary Poppins has taken
airwaves. But not enough medication.
My grandchildren love that. My grandchildren love that movie.
Mm-hmm.
But not enough medication will help Victor recover from this.
This has been yet another Beating a Dead Horse presentation.
Morphine helps.
What did you say, Victor? I missed what he said.
I said morphine helps.
Oh, you are evil.
I
love it.
True.
Okay.
But I got an adventure with morphine.
Here's another good one before we get to that. Another good one my dad had was Corn Pops. But he told me this funny story because I was wondering, he would always eat his Corn Pops with chocolate milk. And I never understood him. Like, why? He said when he was on the base.
And then you live with me and we both did that.
Right.
Mess.
So he was on the base when he was in the Marines. He was on the base and they have ran out of regular milk, out of whole milk.
Yep.
The only thing that was left was chocolate milk or skim milk. And don't nobody
God
cereal with skim
milk.
milk.
Where's Lewis Black when you need him? Talking about skim milk.
But he decided to just use chocolate milk and he ate it ever since.
He was hooked.
All right. Your adventures with morphine.
I was working in Minnesota at Valley Fair.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, isn't this a sports show?
We're gonna get to sports. You were eating. See, this is your fault.
Because you were eating cereal.
My fault.
This is your fault.
Just because I was eating cereal.
You were eating cereal, and
Listen,
it went.
I need to take my medications. I have ADHD medications I have to take.
I understand that.
In the army,
but we're picking on you because you started it by eating cereal in front of us, and we decided to take it and go with it.
Take advantage of it.
We decided to take it and go with it.
Now what happened?
All right, I was working in Minnesota. At Valley Fair, I had a chance to go see a Twins game in the Metrodome. Went to the Twins game. Went next day, came back, went to work, slipped.
Oh,
and bang, concussion.
Oh, no.
I was working at Thunder Canyon when that happened. It took me to the hospital, and the first thing they determined I had a concussion, and I was out for 5 days.
Oh, wow.
I spent 3 of those days in the hospital, and they were injecting me with something. I had no idea what the hell it was. Then they told me. I said, why am I feeling loopy right now? And the doctor said, quote, probably because you're full of morphine. What? I didn't know what the hell morphine was.
What you mean?
But I did ask this question. Can I have some more?
I agree. Never had morphine, but I agree. When you hurt, I think the only thing I ever had that was like that was I had the ibuprofen
ibuprofen. That's Tylenol. Yeah.
You know what? Me and ibuprofen have been best friends since surgery. Me, ibuprofen, Tylenol, and gabapentin have been best friends since surgery.
Ibuprofen supporting the Snow family since the 1800s.
Yes. Yes.
That needs to be a soundbite. Ibuprofen supporting the Snow family since the 1800s.
Right.
You know what? That's a drop. That's a drop. That's a drop.
To get on it.
And that's also our question of the day. And our question of the day is brought to you in part by SeatGeek. Use the code Snowman for $20 off of your first purchase. That's only with the power of SeatGeek, where fans can.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Welcome back, Snowman in the morning here on this Tuesday. And Droid is looking at me like he's mad at me. Why? Why are you mad at me?
I was not paying attention. I was working on some Sudoku. And then I heard special guest. You woke me up.
Woke me up.
Ain't that the idea? Storylines for the storylines for Super Bowl 59 is what we're going to tackle next. We'll go to Droid first. What do you think the biggest, besides the fact?
I don't care about the 3P. I don't care about the 3P. That's of course
okay.
That's the obvious storyline.
Right. We're looking for the less than obvious.
But this is Sirianni's chance to prove to Eagles Mafia, hey, I can coach. Okay.
Yeah,
I am an eligible coach. I can win you Super Bowls. Just give me time.
Is this do or die for?
This is do or die for Sirianni.
It is. Because if he doesn't win this Super Bowl, he's out.
That's what I was going to say.
Especially if the Eagles are not going to be Chiefs again.
After the Eagles won Super Bowl 52 in Minnesota, they were so used. They're used to winning now because they got the big one.
Yep, they got the bug.
Now they had a chance to win another one in Phoenix, Arizona. Didn't get the job done. Now they have a second shot at Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
They have a second shot at Kansas City. And this one's in New Orleans. Let me just start with this. Who do y'all think is the better team going into the Super Bowl?
Honestly, I'm going to say this as a Chiefs fan, Eagles. Eagles are the overall built better team. The O-line, I'll go by each positions.
Right.
And of course, key skills positions, but we're going to go by positions and I'll tell you who has the stronger. When you look at quarterback, I think it's pretty evenly matched. Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes have had pretty mediocre regular seasons, but in the playoffs, they've both been amazing. And you look at wide receivers. I think the Eagles got it with the wide receivers by a long shot. You know, we got a lot of injured wide receivers. We have no Rashee Rice. We got no McCole Hardman. We got a lot of receivers missing. Yeah, we have Xavier Worthy. Yes, we have DeAndre Hopkins. Yes, we have Marquise Brown. But that means nothing when you got Devonta Smith as your wide and AJ Brown. Don't forget him too. Those two guys overall completely outdo the entirety of the wide receiver core for the Chiefs. And then you look at running backs. It's Saquon, no question about it.
It's Saquon and nothing else.
In terms of how, like, in terms of versatility, I'll give it to the Chiefs in terms of running backs. You know why? Because they can play both running backs and have no problems.
Right.
That's the only point I'll give it to the Chiefs. But in terms of overall running back, I give it to Saquon and the Eagles. And then you go to the offensive line. I give that to the Chiefs. They've let up 0 sacks in the last 2 games, while the O-line for the Eagles has let up a few. And then we move to defense. Corners, give it to the Eagles, man. Come on.
Yeah.
The Chiefs secondary is non-existent. The Chiefs secondary is non-existent. It has nothing good going for it. And then you look at D-line, I'll give that one to the Chiefs. You know, they have a high defensive lineman. You got Ndike Ozona, you got Jones, you got Karlaftis, and then you got Nick Bolton for linebackers. I give that to the Chiefs in terms of that middle of the field presence.
Mm-hmm.
And then for safeties, I give it to the Eagles. They have two of the best safeties in the NFC, if not the best safeties in the NFC, while both of our safeties have been injured since basically week 4. So in majority skill positions, I give the Eagles the upper hand.
So what do the Chiefs need to do, not just have to do, but need to do to complete the slam?
I think one of the big things is getting those third down stops and not allowing them a 4th and 1 opportunity.
Mm-hmm. We talk all year.
We need 4th and 2s. We need 4th and 3s. None of this 4th and 1s.
I would say 4th and 5s. I say 4th and 5s is where you
can't get it on a 4th and 2 unless you got Saquon Barkley. In this case,
right.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So I would say, like, get it at least at 4th and 5. Force them to punt or force them to take a field goal. There's no room for error here.
Let's go to Victor. Victor, tell me some of the storylines you're going to be looking at for Super Bowl 59.
Can Saquon Barkley cap the dream? Can Saquon Barkley get the big one? He's had such a great season since he left New York.
Yep.
But can he finish it off?
Can he
a Super Bowl ring?
Can he finish the job? That's a great storyline.
That's going to be the big thing.
That's a great storyline.
I think there's only one problem with that storyline,
and that is
Jalen Hurts.
Well, it's going to be
again
of Sirianni.
Thank you.
There's going to be whether Sirianni can actually allow.
If that's a case for Jalen Hurts, Victor, and you said it best. That's going to come back to Sirianni.
Mm-hmm.
But you get my point. As I said yesterday today, I said this, but Jalen Hurts has got a lot to prove this Super Bowl. The last Super Bowl he was in was against the Chiefs, and they came up just short. But that wasn't entirely their fault. There was a lot of defensive discipline issues, a lot of offensive discipline issues.
I believe I think the Eagles got flagged 11 times in Super Bowl 57.
I don't remember, but
I think they got flagged 11. I want to say they got flagged 11 times.
And before we move on, Roger Goodell, shut up. You're not making the situation any better.
He never does.
Because he spoke on the fact that people saying that the refs are calling in favor of the Chiefs.
Yeah, that's rigged for the Chiefs to be the 3 times.
Goodell, shut up. You're the commissioner.
You're the commissioner.
You're supposed to talk to media and tell them lies. That's the entire point of being a commissioner. Lie.
Yeah.
Lie to protect.
I would definitely say there's some dirty work going on.
Lie to protect your product.
There's a lot of dirty work going on. But the thing is, people are just focusing on the Chiefs. You didn't see the calls in the Eagles-Rams game? You didn't see the calls in the Eagles-Rams game? You didn't see the calls in the Eagles-Commanders game?
Right.
Come on. Like, I've been watching this game for years. Not as long as Victor, not as long as Brian, but I've been watching this game since I was born. And by God, both the Chiefs and the Eagles have been getting calls their way.
They have.
And Errol Marks
you can't deny it. You can't deny it otherwise. Both teams have been getting
they've
calls.
had favorable calls.
Yeah, and then you look and you remember what Errol Marks said. It's no longer about the team and the love of the game. It's about making money and making a product that makes you more money.
It's about Vegas.
It's about
Vegas. It's about Vegas.
And last but not least, here's the big part. It's about creating an entertaining product. They don't care if one team's better than the other. They're going to do their best to make the product entertaining.
Yeah.
Which is why you see terrible calls, which is why you see all of that.
But
see, one of the big storylines going in is going to be, are the refs going to call this even?
Yeah. I mean, I've heard it from many people.
I don't know who the crew. We don't know who the crew is yet.
I've heard many people saying
they say they're supposed to be announcing it this week. So
I was gonna say
I've heard people say like, how much did the Chiefs, Venmo the refs? What was the amount the Chiefs Venmo the refs to?
You
do the refs have a cash app? These are things I've been hearing. I've been hearing this stuff.
Oh my gosh!
Because you have a lot of people who are just, and let's just be honest, it's a lot of people who are just angry at the fact that they didn't get there. Let's just be for real.
Yeah,
they're mad that they didn't get there.
It's kind of the same storyline, and I know some people are going to hate the fact that I'm going to bring up my team, but I'm going to do it anyway. But it's the same kind of thing with all the hatred that Brock Purdy is getting.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the, nah, you couldn't do it. You realize Brock Purdy still threw for 3,800 yards?
Yeah, the Cam Newtons of the world, the Sean Trusty who are like, we told you he's a system player.
Actually, I'm going to say this. As much as you clown on Cam Newton, he brought up a good point on the Jets-Cardinals game earlier this season, where it was the fact that Kyler Murray got himself blown up by the defense.
He did.
It was an empty backfield formation. Basically, the whole point was to send the running back on a passing route. It was to send every wide receiver on a passing route and a tight end on a passing route. No extra blocks. Right. And Cam Newton brought up a good point. He said, "Run it back. You see there, this Kyler Murray's looking the wrong way." And he had a good point. Kyler Murray was looking the wrong way. He was looking on the right side of the field instead of looking on the left side of the field where they were blitzing.
Yeah.
And, I'll give Cam Newton his flowers. He does have a lot of good points sometimes, but he says more stupid things than he does smart things. That's why we have a very hard time respecting
what
Cam
he said.
Again, we would love to have him on the show because he's an NFL quarterback, former NFL quarterback, went to the Super Bowl. He can describe what it meant to be in that Super Bowl and how it meant to play in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody would love to have a guy like Cam Newton on.
And it's some of his wild takes, and that's why ESPN brought him aboard.
Yeah,
his wild takes.
I haven't seen
Shannon Sharp too.
I haven't seen really much of his stuff lately. I've only seen his stuff getting recommended on my YouTube Shorts. But again, a lot of respect to Cam for pointing that out to Cardinals fans. He's like, "Listen, you can't keep blaming your own line when Murray has the awareness of a sloth."
That's a good one. That is a good one.
I love that one. The awareness of a sloth.
Because you got it's basically like Sauce Gardner is like coming, he's about to blow you up, and you don't even know. He ain't got no spidey sense.
You don't even look at him.
I'm well behind, but on 2 times to catch up. What's the 411? The podcast that Cam Newton owns is called the 4th and 1 podcast, I believe, right?
Right. What's up, Brian Will? Let's go to the Fanatics. Our feedback zone presented by Fanatics. Brian Will is one.
Oh, the 411. He's on the information. What's the 411? Yeah. To me, the stories that I think are going to come out is really a lot about the Eagles, because really what's with the Chiefs is, one, do they get the 3-peat? And if they do, does this put Patrick in GOAT contention?
Yeah.
That's going to be the 2 big storylines.
You would think that would be a real obvious one, wouldn't it?
As a Chiefs fan, I'm going to say this. He's 2 rings away from Hall of Fame. Well, he's Hall of Fame now.
Yeah.
He's 2 rings away from GOAT conversation.
Yeah.
He needs to win this year, and he needs to win another one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before I can consider him even one of the greatest of all time. Because
Right.
Joe Montana, because right now he has 3 rings. Yeah.
Yep.
It's 3 rings.
3 rings.
He's looking for a 4th. That would basically tie him with Montana. If he gets a 5th, then I'm like, okay, he's amazing. He's one of the greatest of all time.
Right.
And I will never say he is the greatest. I will say he's one of the greatest.
Yep. That's what I say all the time. One of.
I agree.
I don't think there's a definitive greatest of all time in the NFL, and I will die on that hill.
You know what? I'll die on that hill with you, because many will argue with me about who is the greatest, and they'll give their reasons as to why.
And Troy has 3 too.
You can't really appoint a greatest of all time. You just can't.
Again, and here's the biggest difference between football and basketball.
Brian, you did not.
What?
I see that. You did not. No.
What?
Let's take a break, folks.
No.
Let's take a break.
What?
And my surprise when y'all get back.
Mister? How do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
So Droid's mad at me because I pulled a fast one.
What?
I didn't tell you guys this, but I have a very special guest joining us right now.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome 2-time Super Bowl champion from the New York Giants, Gary Reasons. Here he is right now. What's up, Gary? Thanks for coming back.
It's all great, guys. Hello, what's happening?
This is an honor.
Super Bowl week is in full effect. You've been to the big game on 2 occasions. Let's start with this. Describe what that crazy week is like, especially when you got either A, to Pasadena, or B, to Tampa. Describe that week.
You know what? It comes and goes in a blink. And unfortunately, the guys, they're all trying to take advantage of the experience, right? You know, you want to maximize everything. And when you think about it as a player, it's all about, you know, how did you get here? You know, and it was a team journey, but then you start to look introspectively about yourself, your career, who helped you along the way, your coaches, your family, you know, really everything that goes into it. Because when it's all comes down to it, this is what you're trying to get to.
Yes.
You're trying to win one of those.
Yes.
And when you can do that and put that on your mantelpiece, it's there forever. And these guys are just trying to enjoy the time that they have together and get prepared for the game of their life. And it just comes so fast, and there's so many moving parts that it's just really hard to describe.
The first one where y'all were in Pasadena for Super Bowl 21. Did you guys stay in proximity to Pasadena, or did you say somewhere well away from the site?
Yeah, we were on the south side of town of LA, basically, because we actually practiced at the Rams facility back then when the Rams were there, and so we were on the southwest side of town, so it wasn't too distant. And so then we traveled north of LA to Pasadena to get to the game. So, but it really wasn't too bad. So we had a little bit of a commute, but not too bad, and you just kind of soak it all in.
When did when you clinched the win against the Redskins? When did the game part of the preparation for the Super Bowl against Denver begin? When did that begin? And take us through that process.
Yeah. So really, what happened with our first Super Bowl, Super Bowl 21, we had the full 2 weeks. You know, with Super Bowl 25, it was different. We only had 1 week because we were in the Gulf War, and we just went right from San Francisco to Tampa for that game. But for this one, we had 2 weeks, and so we really need an extra week for all of the team to prepare, basically for travel, for your families, for everything that you need to do, and get tickets to people that you have. And you know, we each were allotted an allotment of 25 Super Bowl tickets per player, which is really pretty generous by the league, and that's been a standard now for moving forward for all NFL players who make the game. They get an allotment of tickets to utilize. So you have to kind of decide where those are going to go and who's going to get them. And it's pretty interesting on how that all comes. But you really do need that week, if you can do it, to have all the preparation that goes into it and the lead up time, and really give you a little chance to heal. A lot of guys have just kind of laid it out there all season long, and you want to play your best at the best time, right? So if you have a little extra week there to get a little better prepared physically, it certainly can help.
Yeah, and you played, of course, under legendary Bill Parcells. What was it like playing? What was it like playing for the Tuna? What was it like playing for Bill Parcells?
Well, I call it the magic of the two Bills, because Bill Parcells was our head coach, our leader. He was the guy that kind of created the culture around the football team. And, Bill's a Jersey guy, so he knows how to work the Northeast. And so he had no trouble navigating the waters of the New York media and how to handle all that. And so he kind of talked to all of us individually, and he treated us all fairly, but he didn't treat us all the same. Everybody you had his little things that he would talk to you about to kind of get into your craw and try to make you a better player and motivate you a little bit. That was Bill Parcells. He found ways to motivate players to his benefit and the team's benefit and get the most out of you as a player. And with Bill Belichick, being our linebacker coach and defensive coordinator, we kind of had the best of both worlds, because we really had a real tactician as a coordinator in Bill Belichick, who really put in the preparation and put in the best situations for us to succeed on the field. And that's what you wanted with your coordinator, and that's what you wanted a coach. Put players in the best position for them to go out there and succeed on the field with a game plan. And we certainly had a lot of that.
Then you get to the game day itself. The nerves and the butterflies are flying around. But, as a player, you've played football before. You try to think of it as just another game, but it's not just another game. It's it's the Super Bowl, and there's more time that goes in to getting ready for it, to playing it. And back then, they did the player introductions, and they would ask, which unit do you want introduced? So at Super Bowl 21, your defensive unit gets introduced, and you're waiting there. Lawrence Taylor's waiting there. Jim Burt, Harry Carson. Man, what was that? What was that like when you guys were waiting to get introduced to the fans at the Rose Bowl?
Well, it all culminates for each of us. Then that was our first experience to be in front of a global audience, really to have your name announced and recognized, and what university you attended, and those kinds of things. Yep. And so it's really a big moment. And really, just before that, we're in our locker room, sitting in front of our lockers individually, and you could hear a pin drop in there. And it was really quiet, because guys were somber. Guys were really just kind of taking it all in. And really for a lot of us, I think, you think back about the journey of football. And then when you go down that tunnel and you walk out there to the field and you start feeling the energy of the stadium and the fans, and really understanding that you're going to be introduced to billions of people across the planet, and then compete in a football game. It really comes full circle to really understand what you work for your entire football career. And this is the pinnacle of that opportunity to play out there. And being introduced, I tell you, it was a lot of fun to run out there. I use one of those clips in some speaking engagements that I do as being introduced in front of the fans in Pasadena, and running out there, and it never gets old to see that.
It never gets old. I mean, Super Bowl week never gets old. I mean, I had plans of taking my crew down to New Orleans. Unfortunately, health got in the way, but we made plans to get to the Super Bowl, and I'm taking my entire morning show crew with me. That's my promise. I'm going to make that a promise that we're going to get to Santa Clara next year. And now you've been in media for a while. What's the difference in being in the Super Bowl and covering the Super Bowl as a media person? What's that difference?
Well, if you've been in the game, you have a little bit of an insight as to what is actually going on and how things are, or why and how they do the things they do from the NFL's perspective. And really it kind of gives you an insight to really what you can look for the teams leading up to the game and really what's going on. And then ultimately, the game itself. But, it's such a spectacle, and Brian, it's been growing ever since. And since we played Super Bowl 21 and 25, they seem like they're, it's a long time ago. But
it seems like really ancient history, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It just seems like yesterday to me. And I sit here in my office and I got a lot of trinkets up on the shelves and things that kind of remind me of just how special it was. And I'm looking over here at photographs of my son. I'm holding my son up in pictures of Super Bowl 25 when he was there. He was just a 5-year-old kid, so it was pretty cool. But those are the kinds of things that people don't really understand, that it's a game that has grown so fast and really so well over the years that being a part of it from a player's perspective, and also now as a media member myself, when I cover football, I look at it really with a pretty good lens. I've got a pretty good eye for what's going on out there.
Isn't it fun covering this? Being a part of Super Bowls for as long as you have. Isn't this fun?
It is. It's enjoyable for me to really talk about it, to share the experiences. And, I actually look at some of the guys today, and, I was actually looking at something this morning, some interviews and things that are going on with these guys. And, I would think to myself, man, I was right there. That was it. I was there 25 years ago doing this stuff, and it just brings back a lot of memories, and it's really pretty cool. And I like to see Brian, the ascension of these players and really these teams, and for them to get to this pinnacle, this moment, because I know it's so meaningful. It seems like it's old hat. You talk about the Kansas City Chiefs getting there, multiple times and winning a potential three-peat. That's not easy to do. Do not play that down in any way. That is something that would be miraculous and really a game changer in today's NFL football world, because I'll tell you this, it is hard to win every week. It is so hard.
It is, man.
Mm-hmm. And you could take the worst team in a record sense and playing the best team in a record sense, and you could have the outcome of that ball game that you don't expect, because it just happened, all comes together for that team in that moment. And really, it can't happen that way in this game that we're expecting on Sunday, because it's anybody's ball game. I don't see either one of these two teams having a really demonstrative favored position. I think that if things go one way in favor of either of these teams, they could get the leg up. I'm talking about turnovers and situational play in the ballgame.
Yeah, I have a question. We were talking earlier about the excitement and the nerves that come with something like a Super Bowl. How do you, as a player, get able to quell that down, kind of push that down, and be like, okay, I had never been here before, but I got to stick to my fundamentals, stick to what has gotten me here, and not make any mistakes. How is that for a player in that sense?
Well, if you have a Bill Parcells beating you over the head all the time, just saying, hey, just do your job, do your job, do your job. That was instilled into us as a team, from the earliest days. My first year in 1984 with the Giants, and then a culmination in 1986. So I was, I grew up in a tough love environment with coaching, and that I thrived on that, because I learned the level of expectation that you need to have as a player to do the things that you need to do. And if you step out of your role on your offense or your defensive scheme, and you put yourself, first, you're going to do things that are going to be atypical to your defense or your offense, and it's going to hurt that team. And so we couldn't do that. So do your job. Bill Belichick preaches that all the time, and that's exactly what you have to do, because guys who are trying to do something individually on the field that just counter to the team goal, the team aspect, and what you're doing collectively, it can really hurt you. And so I always kind of put that first, and I thought about all of those things. And so all the fanfare and everything, once the lights are on, the game is kicked off, it's just another game. It really is. And so, but it happens, the speed of this game is going to be like no other that these players have played in. It is going to be the fastest game ever that they have ever imagined. And it really does magnify the level of play of every player in the ballgame.
He's done it twice. He's won twice. That is middle linebacker Gary Reasons, number 55, joining us here on our Super Bowl week coverage on Snowman in the Morning. Gary, love you, brother. Thank you so much for coming on. Very appreciated.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure, guys. Great to talk to you again, and enjoy the ball game this weekend.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That, ladies and gentlemen, is two-time Super Bowl champion Gary Reasons from the New York Giants. He joins us via the Invader Coffee guest line. That's what I'm trying to say. Invader Coffee guest line. Invader Coffee, fuel for the fearless.
Wow.
Fun.
It's again, like sitting at the learning tree again. And I love how he was explaining, don't get out of what you're supposed to do. Don't get out of what you're supposed to do.
A lesson I've had to learn several times.
And the fact that he talked about a tough love environment, that is what's missing in a lot of NFL teams.
Isn't it?
Okay. And yes, I am throwing my Cowboys all the way under the bus about this.
You're throwing them under the semi, but keep preaching.
Because they don't have that there. You can tell they don't. The Bears don't. You tell the Bears do not have that. I don't think the Seahawks have that either, especially now that Pete Carroll's gone.
Nor do the Cardinals.
Nor do the Cardinals. Nor do the Browns.
Nor do the Browns.
There's no tough love culture anymore. Everyone coddles and caresses. It's like, I understand you don't want these guys to get down themselves, and trust me, I get that.
Yeah.
But at the end, this is a tough league, a tough business, and you have to get that tough skin.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. That was fun.
That was.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Gary Reasons, for joining us via the Invader Coffee guest line. And Jordan, why are you peering at me like that? Did I surprise you?
Shut
up. Did I surprise you with that fast
Shut
one?
up.
No,
man.
And the great part is I led right into a commercial with that.
Yeah.
Making me just mad.
You know you enjoyed it, so shut your face.
Only if you do the same.
No. I ain't shutting my face, and I don't expect you to either. Smart Alec.
All right.
Okay. What is your go-to food? Oh, so may as well make this a question of the day too. What is your go-to? What?
Don't make my fat ASS speak about food.
Well, we're gonna do it anyway, since it's Super Bowl week, and I'm probably gonna be asking this question all week. What is? Oh, here's a question of the day. Question of the day is presented by SeatGeek. Use the code Snowman for $20 off of your first purchase. That's only through the power of SeatGeek, where fans can fan. What is your go-to food on Super Bowl Sunday? Droid, I'll start with you.
Gotta go with the greatest pizza place of all time, and I will not hear any objections. Gotta go with some Papa John's pizza.
I can go with that. I love Papa John's.
I can dig that.
And I will not hear no Domino's greatest of all time.
Nah.
The only one that would be better, bless her heart, is Myrtle Snow's homemade pizza.
The one that got you beat.
And Myrtle, for y'all that don't know, Myrtle was my mom.
Mm-hmm.
The pizza that got me busted.
Got you busted and beat up.
The pizza that got me busted, disgusted, and couldn't be trusted around it. And the bad part is my dad participated in the crime the next day.
Yep.
I'll tell that story when we come back from break. Victor, what's your go-to snack for the Super Bowl?
Oh, Papa John's is a good one. I actually go with Hooters wings. I love their wings.
I can dig that,
especially with a little bit of ranch.
I can dig that. I absolutely can dig that. Well, I've been spoiled on Super Bowl Sunday many times. It would have to be Jody's barbecue or gravy covered meatballs.
That's what you had last time.
That's what I had last year. Yep.
I remember that. That's a good one too.
But we have a couple more that we do. We do a gigantic cheese ball. Of course, we have the meatballs. I normally would fix some hamburgers. Droid, why are you falling asleep?
I'm stretching.
Oh, okay.
Nah, because that's exactly what I'd look like if I ate all that food in a sitting.
Hey, been there, done that. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt, burnt the sumbitch when I got done with it. Burn it when I got done with it. Yeah, mine would be Jody's crock-pot cooked meatballs.
Another good one when you're on a budget is White Castle sliders.
Listen, I hate what you did to me one Super Bowl Sunday, Victor. 2 of them, as a matter of fact.
The crave crates.
The big ass crates. We each bought a crate. Victor bought a crate from White Castle, and I bought a crate the first time we watched the Super Bowl together. Man, that crate was destroyed before the player introductions.
Man.
That crate was destroyed.
How could it not be?
That sumbitch was those sumbitches were destroyed while the player introductions were going on.
To me, there are 4 holidays where you are not only permitted but encouraged to pig out.
1,
Thanksgiving,
2,
Easter, Christmas,
3,
and Super Bowl Sunday.
Don't have me talk about Easter meals.
Oh my God.
Don't have me talk about Super Bowl meals either, because Mom used to, you know this, Victor. Mom used to cook up some stuff.
My grandmother would be up at 6 a.m. cooking everything. I mean, chicken, rice and beans, turkey,
all
ham,
of it.
Greens.
Yes. Give me 14 more, please.
Right. Right.
Please fill up my plate and make sure I don't wake up afterwards.
Fill up my plate so I can watch the game. Then fill it up again so I can watch game 2.
Yeah.
And then give me a plate to go.
I say fill up my plate so I don't wake up tomorrow.
Right. The Playmaker is with us. Hello, Snow Crew. He says, "What's up, Playmaker? Glad to have you with us." Playmaker. Our question of the day, second one. What is your go-to snack for the Super Bowl? And Playmaker, I believe, is either in New Orleans or on his way to New Orleans.
Ooh-wee.
Yep, he's going to Radio Row. Speaking of Radio Row, my good friend Michael Lyle will join us on Friday as we bring back the Lyle Files, and that is going to be an extended show because we got a lot of stuff planned for our Friday show. So pay attention to everything that we got planned here. It's halftime, so we'll take a break. And when y'all get back, more stuff leading up to Super Bowl 50.